Let's face it, the launch year for Nintendo Switch, which was in 2017, was pretty massive. I mean, we really had so many games to look forward to and play that year. It was quite insane, and their big January presentation for the new console was just as insane, showing so many huge titles off. I mean, literally in 1 year, we had a brand new open world Zelda game with Breath of the Wild, a 3D sandbox platformer once again with Super Mario Odyssey, which we haven't had something like that since Sunshine on the GameCube, a sequel to Nintendo's new beloved franchise, Splatoon 2, so much more, such as a brand new IP of ARMS, a new deluxe version of Mario Kart 8, and even surprising games like 1-2 Switch, which was better or worse, and Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which people really did love, and ending the year with a brand new Xenoblade Chronicles with Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I mean, 2017 was just a monster. Even though we had years that got really close to beating out 2017, to me, nothing quite reached the levels of hype that 2017 had for Nintendo. I mean, seriously, I still don't think we'll ever see a year just that grand again, and the way everything lined up was just massive, and one of those reasons is because two of Nintendo's biggest IPs got games year one, Zelda and Mario, and they were both huge titles. Well, obviously now, thanks to Nintendo actually coming out and stating it, we know Switch 2 is just around the corner, and that an announcement is inevitable, we just don't know when. With that in mind, I cannot help but think about year one of Switch 2. It's going to be massive. I mean, there's so many games that we're due for, and especially with the rumors suggesting that the reason that Switch 2's launch was actually delayed was because of software, and that they wanted to get a really strong year one software lineup. It makes me super excited to think of all the potential for year one of Switch 2. And if the rumors are correct, apparently this is all going to be starting to happen at the beginning of next year. Yeah, 2025 could be our big year of game releases. With Nintendo Switch 2 possibly launching in March of next year, we have a whole year of surprises in store for us. But what are those surprises and what games can we actually expect? Well, I think it's going to be a lot more massive than you think and even rival that of 2017. Real quick, guys, look at how close we are to 300,000 subscribers. We are super duper close. So stop what you're doing, leave a like and subscribe, as a lot of you watching this are not yet subscribed. There's a big video that I have planned for you guys for 300K. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and let's dive into what this year of 2025 and Switch 2 could look like. So when you think back to what made 2017 so special, and honestly, you could probably boil it down to two games, not exclusively, but two games that really just generated most of the hype, and it's the start of 2017 and the end of 2017. Well, Nintendo started off pretty daggone strong with one of the greatest games of all time, obviously, with The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and then they ended it with one of the greatest Mario experiences of all time, being Super Mario Odyssey. Both 10 out of 10 stellar AAA projects from Nintendo with two of their biggest IPs. How does Nintendo ever surpass this unless they have another Mario and Zelda combo for us? Well, unless you've been living under a rock, you probably heard of what the rumored launch title is going to be for Switch 2. And right now, it's all coming down to 3D Mario. And not just any 3D Mario like another Mario Odyssey. We're looking at something huge here. I mean, they're talking like the Breath of the Wild for Mario here. Like, Mario is going to be the replacement for Breath of the Wild the way it was on the Switch, where we're going to get an open world 3D Mario experience, something similar to Bowser's Fury, but obviously a lot bigger. And I mean, a lot bigger. Obviously, it's been just about 7, almost 8 years since Super Mario Odyssey, so we are due, baby, for a new 3D Mario, and this one just sounds the most likely to me. It makes the most sense, and it's going to be massive. It's Mario. I mean, Super Mario Odyssey already has like the highest viewed trailers ever for Nintendo's history on YouTube, so you know what? A big 3D open world Mario game is just going to attract literally everyone. And right there, you have your launch title for Switch 2. 3D Mario absolutely kicking the doors open for Switch 2 and starting that great year already. What about that holiday game for Switch 2? There's no way we're getting another huge AAA developed Zelda game, right? Yeah, probably not. Not at all, especially since Tears of the Kingdom just came out. This is something that we are not going to expect. So what do we expect? Well, another game that came out on the original Switch was Mario Kart 8, but deluxe. It was the same game from the Wii U, just adding a new battle mode, some new characters, and eventually a booster pass, adding 48 classic tracks, which was pretty daggone significant. You know how well Mario Kart 8 sold. It's by far the best-selling Switch game right now. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe has been an absolute beast, and this is why. This right here is why I feel like 2025 can be bigger than 2017. I mean, a 3D Mario at launch and a brand new Mario Kart for the holiday, it's really hard to beat that. And honestly, I think that is a lot bigger than just a new Mario game and a new Zelda game. Because man, 3D Mario and Mario Kart, I mean, that sounds like a dream come true. In the same year, even listening to it now just doesn't sound as likely just because of how amazing that would be. But it kind of makes sense when you look at how long it's been for both 3D Mario and Mario Kart. So that's what I'm thinking could be the launch and holiday games. Another thing that's really huge for Nintendo was obviously Pokemon Company. And in 2017, we really didn't have anything Pokemon related for the Switch outside Pokken Deluxe, which was but yeah, that's about it, because they were still supporting the 3DS at this time, and they gave us Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon. So that means that we could very well actually start this new console with a new Pokemon experience, and that would be Pokemon Legends ZA, which is something that we've already had announced, and people love Legends so far. At least the first Legends game was amazing. People are so unbelievably stoked for this one, obviously giving us a huge new title if they do want to put this on the next Switch. Now, there is a really good chance that this could come out at the beginning of next year, like January or February. Just miss Switch 2. But I just don't understand why Nintendo would do that. I mean, seriously, you have a brand new console coming out and you have a huge Pokemon game that fans are going to eat up. That's definitely something that you have to have on Switch 2. And I feel like that would just be a huge mistake to swap that out for a Switch 1 release instead of Switch 2. So that's just my take. Boom, you got a huge Pokemon game this year, which you didn't really have in 2017. Now, this is where we get kind of interesting, because we did have Splatoon 2 back at launch for Nintendo Switch. It was the summer of 2017. Are we going to have a Splatoon 4? Now, originally, I'd say probably not yet. It'd only be around 3 years. I feel like they need another year or two before we see something like that. But it might actually be sooner than we think, because apparently there has been code found that shows that Nintendo has been working on a game and working on it right now, codenamed Spiral. And thanks to Midori on Twitter, she states that this is most likely a Splatoon game, as she's really dug into it and found that, yeah, this is all matching up to be the next Splatoon. Now, we don't know if this is Splatoon 4, maybe a spin-off with a story mode or something along those lines, but Splatoon something is matching what we did in 2017, and it's pretty awesome. Hopefully it is not a rushed Splatoon though, because I know that's been a lot of people's complaints that Splatoon 3 felt a little rushed, and you could maybe even say that with Splatoon 2, but we know the current trilogy of Splatoon games is done, so this could start the next trilogy, or maybe, like I said, something completely different, like a story-driven Splatoon spin-off, which would be awesome. But having something Splatoon in 2025 as well, I mean, seriously, absolutely big. Now, another big game we had was Xenoblade Chronicles 2, where unfortunately, I don't think we're getting a new Xenoblade or a new Fire Emblem unless it's some type of remake or remaster. I'm sorry, guys, it just doesn't seem too likely, with 2022 and 2023 both having a Xenoblade and Fire Emblem game, so odds are we're not going to see another one of those for quite a while, or at least a couple of years. So what else is Nintendo going to release that could be a big title there? Well, I thought for sure Metroid Prime 4. We've been waiting so long for this game, and we don't even know where it is in development right now, but everything is pointing for Switch 2 right now, and it just seems to make the most sense, and I think it's going to be one of their bigger games that they market, where they have a big 3D Mario at the beginning of the year, a big Mario Kart at the end of the year, and in slap dab middle of the year, you got a big Metroid Prime game right around the summertime. With Splatoon, yeah, it sounds kind of ambitious, but man, how massive would that be? And it just kind of makes so much sense. Even as ambitious as this list is sounding, it's time for all of these games that I have mentioned so far. So it's not like I'm reaching completely out of control here, coming up with some of these ideas. If Metroid Prime 4 does get added to the list for next year, I mean, goodness gracious, just everything that I've mentioned so far is already massive for Nintendo. I'm not gonna lie, I'm just also tired of showing this trailer of a 4 every time I talk about this game. Nintendo, give us some type of content. Now, with even all the bangers of 2017, there were still some smaller games and surprises for us, like ARMS, a brand new IP, 1-2 Switch, another kind of brand new IP because it ended up getting a sequel that nobody asked for, Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, which technically is just a brand new idea with Mario characters and Rabbit characters together that also got a sequel, and then we had a Fire Emblem Warriors game. Well, what other small things could we get in 2025 to fill those gap months as well? Well, there's a lot of choices there too. Right now, there has been rumors of the next Mario Party game, with codenames once again popping up from Midori, such as the word Banquet, which makes people believe believe that this is a Mario Party game. Now, there's a very good chance that that Mario Party game could be coming this year for the end of the current Switch, or maybe there's another new one coming next year for the new Switch. Who really knows? But if it's not Mario Party, there's still a good chance that it could be something else Mario related, like Mario Sports. Yes, Mario Baseball or Mario Basketball, please. But also at the same time, that's a lot of Mario for next year, I can't lie. A brand new Mario Kart, a 3D Mario, and a Mario Party or sports game? I mean, seriously, Nintendo would be having a stellar year if that was the case. I just don't know if that's very, very likely to have that much Mario. We've seen it before, but I mean, it's just crazy to think about. And yes, since we have 1-2 Switch, and we did get Switch Sports on the Switch, just not in 2017, there has been new rumors and new code name that has a name similar to Switch Sports. I'm not going to dive into all that stuff right now, but apparently there could be another Switch Sports coming. Maybe like a Switch Sports Resort, and maybe that's another launch title that could be coming with Switch 2. That way you have your big 3D Mario adventure, and you can have your fun family game with Switch Sports Resort, if that's a thing, but we're just gonna have to wait and see if that's actually true. And finally, this leaves me with 3 games that are still on the cuff for what could happen. Yes, even with all that greatness that could happen in 2025, there's still some other games that are due for a new sequel, or like the next installment. 1. Luigi's Mansion 4. Did you know this October will mark 5 years since Luigi's Mansion 3? And next year, it'll be 6 years since Luigi's Mansion 3. And we know this year we're getting Luigi's Mansion 2 remade, so there's a very good chance that Luigi's Mansion 4 could see the light next year. Now, I heard that this one's also going for more of the ambitious end, being bigger and better than ever before, so maybe it does need an extra year. Nintendo just needs to pan out that schedule a little bit, because that is a lot of big heater games in a row. But man, that is just insane if Luigi's Mansion could also make the cut. You know what else has been a long time since we've had? A Donkey Kong game. Yes, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze originally came out in 2014 on the Wii U. And somehow, through the entire life cycle of the Nintendo Switch, we had not had an original Donkey Kong game, not once. No, Mario vs. Donkey Kong doesn't count, and neither does the port of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, no matter how absolutely stellar that game originally was. It's just crazy to me that we still haven't seen neither a 2D or yet again another 3D Donkey Kong, something along the lines of Donkey Kong 64, so I'm hoping that something is in the works. I'm hoping that maybe very, very soon we could be seeing Donkey Kong, and honestly, I still think there's a chance even this year on current Nintendo Switch we could still see something last minute from Donkey Kong, but odds are we might have to wait for Switch 2. I think there is an incredibly good chance that we could see something year 1 or maybe even year 2 for Switch 2. Last but not least, I know we already talked about Breath of the Wild being replaced by Mario Kart, but we have to have Zelda something, right? Well, there's been some more code found that's apparently giving us a new version of Breath of the Wild coming. Yeah, we could be getting an updated version of Breath of the Wild for the new console, which would make sense as something Zelda for next year. But there also could be a new top-down 2D Zelda game, which we haven't had in a while, or maybe just a remake or a remaster of an old one like Link Between Worlds. But I'd be kind of shocked if there wasn't anything for Zelda. Normally we have something, whether it's in the form of a remaster, remake, a small game, a port, a spin-off, some type of Hyrule Warriors game, something, so I am expecting at least something Zelda related. And that Zelda Breath of the Wild remaster, remake, new edition, whatever that's going to be, it's sounding the most likely, which is still strange to me. Goodness gracious, is it going to be an amazing time to be a Nintendo fan. I know it's been kind of slow pretty much for, the end of last year and even this year so far, as we're already halfway through 2024, but yes, things are about to shift, especially with a brand new Nintendo Direct coming up. Who knows, we could get an announcement of a couple of those Switch 2 games, because Nintendo just said they're not talking about Switch 2. Didn't say anything about the games. So literally in a week or two, we could be hearing about some or one of these huge games, and it's super exciting to even think about that. But thank you guys so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think the year of 2025 is going to be in the first year of Nintendo Switch 2. Do you think it's going to be massive? Do you think it's going to be smaller than 2017, or bigger, or more along the lines of just like it? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out. And like always, I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.